How's it going, everybody? My name is Andrew and welcome to this video. So today's video is going to be about, well, we're going to go into the deep dark realms of creepypastas. And of course, suicide, Squidward. I'm going into some dark topics for now for reasons that, I do not want to talk about. But this is just history about Suicide Squidward, and then possibly we will get to some other memes as well, because in the last video I did 2 memes, and this video, for a comment that happened on one of my other videos that happened for a few days ago, is I'm going to try and not swear in this video. Suicide Squidward is a creepypasta story central around the unaired episode of the child animated TV series SpongeBob SquarePants, which the anthropomorphic octopus character supposedly kills himself with a shotgun. Okay, that went dark really quick, and it's only just been a minute. So apparently he shoots himself with a shotgun. I know it's an anthropomorphic squid, but come on, a shotgun? I would have used a deagle, but that's my preference. Anyway, the origins, on April 6, 2010, an anonymous user posted a creepypasta story titled Squidward's Suicide to 7chan's X, parody board of 4chan by the seams of it, /x/ paranoia board. The author, who claimed to have seen the lost episode during its internship with a Nickelodeon studio, the story opens with the show producing team rewinding what was supposed to be the episode for the 4th season. Oh, premiere. Sorry, a doctor at the hospital says I'm dyslexic, so I don't know for sure. I can't read for shit, because my reading's crap and so's my writing half the time. Anyway, moving on. So the 4th season, but as the footage progressed, the animators and editors become more horrified and gory images. Horrified by gore images and gross sound effects that wasn't authorized to being included. Okay, so basically this is a creepypasta gone fucking rank, gone viral by the seems of it. The creepypasta. I want to start off by saying, if you want an answer to the end parody, I'm just gonna read this quickly. Okay, so basically, if I wanted I want to start off by saying, if you want answers at the end premium to be disappointing, then there's just not one. I was intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2015 for my degree. Okay, this is explaining parts of the creepypasta. In animation, I wasn't paid, of course, mostly internships aren't, but I did have some perks behind the editors. To adults, they might not seem like big ones, but most kids at the time would shit themselves over it. I understand that. So, okay, going on to, on January 1st, 2011, YouTuber Mr. Creepypasta uploading a reading of Suicide Squidward, which gained more than 900,000, I don't fucking know, views over the next 3 years, shown below left. On November 1st, YouTuber, don't fucking know how to say his name, uploaded another reading of the story in video titled The Creepypasta Episode, Suicide Squidward, which racked up over 1 million views by January 14th, shown on the right. I'm not going to leave these links anywhere for you guys to watch, but I'm going to experience these because I haven't seen either of them. I think Mr. Creepypasta I have seen, I'm not really sure. I'm going to watch them though for now.
I want to start off by saying if you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed. There just isn't one. I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in
there's a
animation.
creepy image of Squidward.
It wasn't paid, of course. Most internships aren't. But it did have some perks beyond education.
Okay.
To adults, it may not seem like a big one, but most kids at the time would shit themselves over it. Now,
it's just a colour-changing version of a really creepy Squidward.
I got to view the new episodes days before they aired. I'll get right to it without too much unnecessary details. They had very recently made the SpongeBob movie, and the entire staff was somewhat sapped
I
of
understand where
creativity,
this
so it took
timeline
them
is.
longer to start up the season. But the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with the Series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back for several months.
Okay, I'm just going to pause it quickly. The Season 4 premiere, you guys know, was, coming after the SpongeBob movie. The very old SpongeBob series. Season 3 with the movie and all that sort of stuff coming out. It gained so much popularity that, yeah, you have no idea. But this is like an 11-minute video, so I'm probably going to just get up to a few minutes, then just cut it.
Me and 2 other interns were in the editing room, along with the lead animator and some sound editors for the final cut. We received a copy that was supposed to be Fear of a Krabby Patty, and gathered around the screen to watch. Now, given that this isn't final yet, animators often put up a mock title card, sort of a inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles, such as How Sex Doesn't Work, instead of Rockabye Bivalve, when SpongeBob and Patrick adopt the sea scallop. Nothing particularly funny, but work-related chuckles. So when we saw the title card, Squidward's Suicide, we didn't think it more than a morbid joke. One of the interns did a small throat laugh at it. The happy-go-lucky music starts as normal.
So, a throat laugh, if anybody doesn't know, is sort of coming from here, but that sort of a laugh, if anybody doesn't really get it. Anyway, let's carry on listening to this. I'm going to leave it until it gets to about 10 minutes.
The story began with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside, and Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep it down, as he has a concert that night and needs to practice.
As Squidward would.
SpongeBob says okay, and goes to see Sandy with Patrick. The bubble splash screen comes up, and we see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is when things begin to seem off. While playing, a few frames repeat themselves, but the sound doesn't. At this point, sound is synced up with animation, so yeah, that's not really common. But when he stops playing, the sound finishes as if the skit never happened. There's a slight murmur in the crowd before they all begin to boo it. Not normal cartoon booing that's common in the show, but you could very clearly hear malice in it. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd, with SpongeBob in center frame, and he too is booing, very much unlike him. This isn't the oddest thing, though. What's odd is everyone has hyper-realistic eyes, very detailed. Clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. Pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused. But since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children. Yet. The shot goes to Squidward sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out of his window is of a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part is at this point, there is no sound. Literally, no sound. Not even feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, though their status shows them working perfectly. He just sat there, blinking, in the silence for about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Then he started to sob softly.
As anybody would.
He put his hands or tentacles over his eyes and cried quietly for a full minute.
Okay, I'm just going to stop it there. anybody that's just recently been booed off stage, it's like a few minutes away from where Squidward, where the actual performance is. It would take him round about a minute and a half to get to his place. So I understand where they're coming from like 30 seconds sort of stuff. But also, he's an anthropomorphic squid. So yeah.
Maybe more. All the while, a sound in the background very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through the forest. The screen slowly began to zoom in on his face. By slow, I mean it's only noticeable if you look at a shot 10 seconds apart side by side.
True.
The sobbing gets louder, more full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit, as if it twists in on itself for a split second, then back to normal. The
Okay.
way through the trees sound gets slowly louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere.
Probably is.
The eerie part is the sound, and Squidward's sobbing sounded real, as if it wasn't coming from the speakers, but as if the speakers were holes and the sound was just coming through the other side. As good a sound as studio likes to have, they don't purchase the equipment to be that good, to produce sound of that quality. Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faint, something sounded like laughing. It came at odd intervals. It never lasted more than a second, so you had a hard time pinning it down.
Okay, this is slightly creepy.
We watched the show twice, so pardon me if things sound too specific, but I've had time to think about them. After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched violently, and something flashed over the screen, as if a single frame was replaced. The lead animation editor paused and rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6. The face was mangled and bloodied. One eye dangled over his upturned face, popped.
Okay, that's a bit graphic. I'm gonna slowly talk over
His
this.
entrails laying beside
I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know. No.
He was laying on some pavement. It was probably a road.
Ugh.
The most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of the photographer. There was no crime tape, no evidence markers or tags. The angle was completely off for a shot designed to be evidence. It would seem that the photographer was the person responsible for the child's death.
And no, I'm going to stop that right there. That's disgusting. But anyway, 12 minutes in, and I'm making 15-minute videos just for you guys. But I'm going to stop this video a bit early because that part is a bit disgusting. I'll probably carry this on in a different video altogether for you guys to understand what Suicide Squidward is more often. But if you do want to hear the full reading, go to Mr. Creepypasta's channel, or I don't know how to say his name, so I'm just going to say go to Mr. Creepypasta's channel and find out more about this. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff, and I'll see you lads and lasses in the next video. Ta-ra, farewell, adios, amigos.